I'm going to use a couple blocks today, not required, but you might want them for some extra height, just in case. And if you don't have blocks, you can always use some books of a similar height, anything like that. But again, not required. We're going to come down to our mats. We will be doing a little bit of work on the knees for an extended amount of time. If you feel like you need more padding underneath the knees, feel free to grab a blanket as well. When you arrive on your mat, I want you to first just begin by taking your hands under your shoulders, your knees, under your hips, and then we're just going to start by just finding a little breath in through the nose. I want you to really spread your fingers wide, take that breath and fill up all the different sides of your rib cage, the front, the back, the sides. And then as you exhale, press the air out like you were blowing up an entire balloon. See if you can pull the ribs back into the back of your t-shirt as you press that air away. Just take a couple more breaths in like this, just starting to send the breath down very low. See if you can try to reach the very bottom of your rib cage. Maybe it even reaches down to the tip of your spine and your tailbone. Right, and as you exhale, again, we're blowing out that imaginary balloon. We're pressing the air out until we feel like there's no more air left. Feeling how the ribs just gently slide up into the back of your shirt. Someone was giving you just a little gentle lift from the back. Okay. And after your next exhale, I want you to just bring some attention to your tailbone, the very, very bottom of your spine. You're going to start to curl that tailbone under, and then imagine from top to bottom, or from bottom to top, excuse me, you're going to find your way into a cat spine. So tailbone leads the way, your lower back rounds, your mid back rounds, the very top of your spine into your neck starts to round, and lastly, your head comes down. You're looking with your eyeballs towards your heart. And then we're going to go back from the top to the bottom. So your eyeballs are going to look up towards your eyebrows. You're going to start to send the heart forward through the arms. You're going to continue to lengthen your belly button backwards and start to extend the tailbone back at the very, very end. And you'll repeat that on your own timing, leading with the tailbone, kind of articulating from bottom to top, letting your eyeballs look down towards your heart as you find the very top of that flexion. And then you're going to lead with your eyeballs, look out, start to pull your heart forward, pull the abdominal wall forward, lengthen the tailbone back. Okay, and then just melting through that again. Feeling how each vertebra of your spine starts to push up towards the back of your shirt as you round. And maybe there's some kind of dark spots in there where it just doesn't feel like you have a lot of sensation, maybe between the shoulder blades, up into the neck, at the bottom of the rib cage. And as you're unfurling and then curling, I want you to just slow down on those points and see if you can just think about getting a little bit more segmenting through that part of your spine, right? Like we could push each individual vertebra up towards the back body as we round. Looking with your eyeballs. And then like we could push each vertebra slightly forward towards the front half of the torso as we extend. Okay. Now we'll keep kind of moving through this flexion extension, but I want you to walk your hands a little further forward. Maybe separate your knees a little bit wider than your hips. And then as you curl this time, I want you to kind of angle your hips back to the right. They'll shift to the left, and then as you come forward and find that arch, that extension, you're kind of circling your way around. So you'll round as you go back to the right heel. Keep the rounding as you go to the left, and then unfurl and open the heart. Right? And it doesn't have to be exact here, but it's important that it feels really good in your back, right? Really juicy in the spine. Okay, so maybe you can still tap into a little bit of that segmenting. As you move through the circle, letting your eyeballs look towards your heart as you round back, and letting your eyeballs look out and up towards your eyebrows as you come forward. Reverse that circle, pressing into all the pads of your fingers with wide palms. Okay. And just circling pelvis around thighs, flexing and extending the spine. You'll be getting a little bit of extra movement here, some side bending, maybe some rotation, depending on how big you're taking the circles. Add a couple more here. Okay. When you come forward again, I'm going to grab onto my blocks here on lowest height. Again, they're optional, but I'm going to have a little bit of a lift with this one. It works well for my arms because they're on the shorter side. We're going to take the forearms with the palms up to the blocks. They're going to be on that lowest height pressed together. Okay. You're going to take your forearms down, and they're roughly under the shoulders, but you can have them a little more narrow depending on if that's comfortable for you. But what we want to mostly focus on is pressing the elbows into the blocks, rounding the rib cage up into the back of your shirt, lengthening the back of the neck by tilting your chin down, and then just pushing into the blocks the whole time as we start to go up and over, dipping the right ear down a few inches to the outside of that right block. We come back through center, we lift up again, and then we rotate to the left. Now, I'll show you a little front view just in case you're confused a little bit. With that, you're going to, again, push into the blocks. You go up with your ribs, and then you keep going up as your right ear arcs to the right. We're not trying to touch down on the floor, absolutely not that low, just a little arc turning your head to the left. You round up through center, turn your head to the right as your left ear arcs down. So whatever way that your ear is going down, I want you to turn your head away from the ear that's going towards the floor. Okay? Just this little bit of a rocking motion, starting to spread all of that tissue across the back of your rib cage between your shoulder blades, maybe up into the back of the skull. Sometimes I feel it there. Just this little rock, side to side, pushing the forearms down actively and being conscious that your head is not starting to look forward, right? Maintain the length in the back of the neck. Whew, 2 more. Okay, rotate, reach. Okay, and then from here, knees are going to stay down. You're just going to send your hips back into a little child's pose. You can push the blocks out of the way here as you stretch your arms forward. Just come lay your forehead on the mat for a moment. Good. Now that we've opened up some of that space, we're going to find a slightly different variation on our rotation. We're going to take the shins and knees all the way together. Okay, we're going to take the forearms down. You could have your elbows up on the blocks if that feels more comfortable for you. We're going to keep the right forearm down. Left hand is going to come up to the forehead with the elbow pointing out, but not forced up very high. Very, very minimal tension here in the top of the shoulder, so lower your elbow as much as you need. Now, not from the elbow, but from the left side of your rib cage, I want you to pick up the left ribs. Right ribs are going to rotate down towards your right thigh, and you're going to come into this rotation. And then you're going to return to where you started. So you pick up the left ribs, your right ribs go down. Okay. When you do rotation, I want you to think about your rib cage moving three-dimensionally. So as one half, in this case the left half, is going up, I want you to think about the other half, the right half, moving down an equal amount. Okay. And again, lead with the ribs. We're not getting too carried away with that elbow to a point that it creates tension in the top of the shoulder, right? So your rotation might be a little bit smaller, but I want you to focus on breathing in on the way up and then exhaling to release down. Okay, last one. Amazing. Now, before we do that on the other side, a little interlude. We're going to take one of the blocks, you could do a pillow as well, underneath of the left knee, like this. The knee's just going to kind of fall out to the side. The block is just there to support it, so it doesn't feel like it's flopping to the floor. We're going to take the opposite leg, the right leg, out to the side with the knee a little bit bent. That right hand is going to find the floor in front of the knee pit. Okay, so it's going to be in front, but in line with that inner knee. You're going to take the left arm, stretch it up high to the sky. Now, you're going to press your left butt cheek down into the floor. Reach through your left fingertips. I want you to push your inner right thigh into your right elbow here. So a little bit of a leverage point. You're going to turn your eyeballs and your chest towards the floor. Keep pressing the thigh and the hand together. And then you're going to keep pressing the inner thigh and forearm together as you unravel and open up back to that side stretch. So we reach out, we turn the chest towards the floor here, and then you push that left butt cheek down as you unwind, pushing your right forearm or elbow space into that right knee. Okay, so there's a lot of points of contact here that I want you to really zone in on. That forearm and knee, left glute on the ground, pushing into those to support this deep side body stretch. Okay, obviously this range could be a little bit smaller if that feels better for you. Right, one more time, reaching out, push elbow to knee, or sorry, yeah, forearm to inner thigh, and then come up and out of it, right? Little moment to relax there. We're going to return back to our tight kneeling position, little small ball shape. You're going to take your left forearm down to the ground, right hand to your forehead. Okay, you sit into this. You're going to start to inhale as you look up with your eyeballs to the right. Turn your right rib cage up, left ribs go down. We spiral back. So it's a pushing down into the forearm, pushing down through the left rib cage as your right ribs open up. Okay, just allowing the skull to turn to the right, eyeballs peek to the right. Okay, checking in with your body. If this is an unfamiliar exercise, go small, go at a range where you can keep tension out of other parts of the body, right? If it starts to become a bracing in the jaw or in the, shoulders and the hand that's on the floor even, just kind of reel it back in and see if you can make this a little bit more calm overall. Right? Telling your nervous system it's a safe movement to try on, even though it's unfamiliar. Good. Last two. Inhaling up, opening up the ribs. And then as you return back down, we're going to grab the block as we turn to face the front. Right outer knee supported, then left knee is bent and extended a little longer out to the side. You're going to place the left hand down. You're going to kind of leverage your forearm and inner thigh into one another. You're going to stretch your right arm up. Okay, now from here, you're going to keep pressing your forearm and inner thigh into one another as you rotate the chest down. And as you come up, really strong press. Right butt cheek pushes down. Inner thigh, inner forearm, press together. Okay. So you're generating some tension in other parts of your body as this kind of lateral right side of your torso opens up. Right, fascia really, really likes kind of an oppositional force, like a push-pull, right? Pressing down, contracting inward to expand. Really, really helpful quality to tap into um, to get more out of your mobility work. You tap into what's rooting you. See if you can press into that more as you kind of take these deep opening stretches of the body. Okay, last two here. Give it a nice strong press, inner thigh into forearm. We open up, right sits bone plugs into the floor. Very nice. And as you come out of that, we'll take a little spin just to that hands and knees position again. Just a little roll up here. You're going to tuck your toes under. Feet are going to be about hip width apart. Take a moment, drop your head. Drop it, give it a little shake. Right? Keep your head dropped and look with your eyeballs towards your cheekbones. See if you can try that on, or towards the very top of your shirt if that doesn't feel available. I want you to keep your eyeballs there the whole time. Press into your feet. Start to send your tailbone down towards the floor between your feet. You're going to roll up through the rest of your spine slowly. Lower back, middle back, upper back, head over everything else. Okay? Now, once we're standing up, we're going to find a position with our legs that's a little wider, a little more supportive, so we feel just very strong in our balance. Spread out all your toes, widen through the feet, bend your knees a little bit. We're going to take the arms and just give ourselves a nice big hug. We have right arm on top to start, left arm below. You're going to start to round forward, right? Look towards your cheekbones. You're then going to rotate towards your right foot without changing anything in your hips, so try to keep that still. Just your heart's going to turn to the right foot. You're then going to let your right ear drain towards the floor. Find that nice side bend. You're going to look up towards the ceiling, rotate all the way across until you're on the opposite side bend. You're going to rotate to the left foot, back to center, and repeat. So we're in that flexion. I'll show from the side. We rotate right. We side bend right. We open our hearts to the ceiling. Side bend left. Rotate left. And down. Now, if you were to go a little, less detailed with it, it would look like just a full circle of the ribs, like this, right? But I want you, even if you choose to kind of blend those edges together, I want you to still find all of the different movements of the spine we talked about. So the rotation to the right, the side bend to the right, the extension up and over, side bend, rotation, and back. One more time in this direction. Letting your head just go along for the ride. No need to hold excessively. Right? And when you come up, just give your arms a nice reach out to the side. Woo, we're going to take that on the other side. So you can switch the arms out, right? And we'll repeat it going to the left. Okay? So eyeballs track down, you round forward just a little bit, just to find that flexion in your rib cage. We rotate left. You open up left. Eyeballs go up and over, side bend to the right. Rotate to the right. Back to center. Okay. Feeling how we've already done all of these different movements. We've flexed the spine. We've rotated the spine. Extended the spine. We've side bent. Okay. Now we're just putting it all together. Yes. Rotate left. Side bend left. Up and over. Find your side bend to the right. Rotate to the right. Last two. Try to unclench your jaw. Try not to hold your breath here. Okay. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and stand yourself back up. We're going to finish out using a wall. If you can just find access to a wall, it really only needs to be enough to fit your feet about hip width distance apart. So I'd like you to just take your feet, you'll come onto your back. You're going to take your feet up onto the wall, roughly 90-ish degrees. It doesn't have to be exact, right? Definitely not lower than 90. So either 90 or slightly above. I'm going to have mine slightly above. And then just let your spine fall heavy into the floor. Let your bones just kind of release back, right? No tension here. I want you to widen all of your toes, press your feet into the wall. Feel like your heels are just starting to pull down the wall. So just a little energetic pull, so you start to light up through your hamstrings. We're going to curl the tailbone off the floor and just find a little bit of a roll up through the bottom part of your spine. Right? Once the bottom part of your spine has lifted off, we're going to continue rolling up the middle of your back and eventually finding the shoulder blades, the tips of the shoulder blades. Okay, pressing the feet into the wall, dragging the heels down. Now right here, if you can, if you feel comfortable, reach the arms up to the sky. If not, just leave them on the mat. And then as you start to roll down, I want you to reach your fingertips high to the sky. Pull the back of your rib cage all the way down first. Pull the back of your waist down second. Slowly moving through the lower part of your back. Once you've moved all the way through, the tailbone will release, the sacrum returns to that neutral. Right? If you're okay with the arms up, we'll keep them there this time. Right? Feel your pelvis tip back. Push the lowest vertebra of your lumbar spine down into the mat before you pick up the next piece. Yes. So we're just taking a little bit of a push down through each part of the back before we peel it up. Almost like you're moving like a conveyor belt, pushing down with each vertebra, and then it peels up, and the next one above it pushes down and peels up, and so on and so forth, just following that little conveyor belt feeling to the very top of your very tips of your shoulder blades, the bottom tips, reaching up with the arms as you roll down, right? You find yourself skipping over any chunks of your spine. Maybe you just pause there for a moment. Really, really slow down, press into your feet, and see if you can find maybe just a little bit more separation, right, by sending your breath there. So take that one more time here, lifting up right here, pull the heels down, feel those hamstrings really supporting you. And as you roll down, think of smushing each little vertebra of your spine down one at a time, all the way until you reach the very, very bottom of your spine. Relax the tail forward. Whew. All right, that was the end of our spinal mobility flow. As always, ask any questions if you have them, and I'll see you next time.